Every single day, you type in a password, you hit login with Google, or maybe you use your face to unlock something. And, every time you do that, you're essentially handing over a key to your digital life. But what if you could own all those keys yourself? Today, we're going to dive into a technology called UID v2 that promises to do just that, to put you back in the driver's seat of your online identity.
So, first things first, let's talk about a problem we are all way too familiar with, the login screen. It's the gatekeeper to pretty much everything we do online, but it comes with this hidden cost, a trade-off that we've all just kind of accepted as normal.
And that really gets to the heart of it, right? It brings up this huge question. When you use that super convenient login with Google button to get into a new app, who's actually in charge? Yeah, it feels easy, but are you the one opening your own front door, or is someone else opening it for you and, keeping a copy of the key for themselves?
This slide really just lays out the two completely different worlds we're talking about. Over on the left, that's the internet we have right now. Your identity, it's centralized by just a handful of huge platforms. And your data, well, that's the product they sell. But on the right, that's the promise of a whole new model. One single, universal identity for everything that you control, where you own your data and the whole system is decentralized.
Okay, so how do we get from that world on the left to the one we want on the right? Well, the solution is built around this really powerful idea called a decoupled identity. So what in the world does decoupled actually mean? Well, just imagine having one universal master key for your entire digital life, a key that only you have, that isn't sitting in a database at Google or Apple or anywhere else. It means your digital existence isn't chained to any single company anymore. It belongs 100% to you. And look, this isn't some far-off, futuristic concept. There's a company called Linkspreed that's actually built a system based on this whole idea. It's called UIID v2, which stands for Universal Integrated Identity Decoupled.
All right, so the million-dollar question, how does this technology actually give you that control back? Let's pop the hood and see how it works.
The whole thing is built on this really clever two-layer system. And honestly, the best way to get your head around it is with this analogy. Think about your real-world identity. You kind of have two parts to it, right? You've got your official, high-stakes passport, and then you've got your casual, everyday nickname. And here's where that passport and nickname idea really clicks. The UID core, that's your digital passport. It's super high trust, uses verified data, and you'd only use it for really sensitive stuff like banking or government services. And then you have the UID alias. Think of these as your nicknames. They're anonymous, low trust, and perfect for things like gaming or social media, all without ever showing anyone your core passport data. But this is where it gets really smart. How do you prove things about yourself online, like your age, without just handing over your digital passport every single time? Well, the answer is some pretty cool cryptography called zero-knowledge proofs. It works kind of like this. Imagine you're trying to get into a bar. The bouncer at the door doesn't need to know your name or your address or your exact birthday. They just need to know one thing. Are you over 18? A zero-knowledge proof does exactly that, but digitally. A website can ask a question, you approve it with a tap, and your UID provides a simple, cryptographically secure yes without ever revealing the sensitive data behind the answer. It's pretty amazing. A technology this fundamental, it's about way more than just a better login. According to the people who built it over at Linkspreed, this is about laying the foundation for a whole new era of the internet, what they're calling Web 4. So what is Web 4? Well, it's a vision for a decentralized web, where the whole power dynamic just gets flipped on its head. Instead of these giant platforms sitting in the middle, collecting value from your data and your attention, the user, that's you, is put right back in the center of the whole ecosystem. And we are not talking about some small niche idea here. The ambition is massive. Linkspreed's goal is to build an infrastructure that's strong enough to support 20,000 independent, sovereign social networks. Just try to imagine that. A world with thousands of alternatives to the big platforms we have now, each one run by its own community. See, this identity layer is the key that could unlock a whole new ecosystem. It could power things like SNAS, or social networks as a service, letting anyone launch their own platform. It could support decentralized business tools, and even enable a totally new kind of ad system, one designed to actually pay you for your attention.
The Linkspreed team really puts it in powerful terms with this quote. They see their work as more than just software. They believe they're deploying the nervous system of a free internet. That's a pretty bold statement.
Okay, let's pull all of this together for a second. We've talked about the problem, the tech, and the huge vision behind it, but what does it all really mean for you?
At the end of the day, what this all really boils down to is choice. The ultimate promise here is to give you back the choice. You get to decide what data to share, who you share it with, and for how long. The control panel for your digital life gets handed right back to you.
This whole idea points toward a future built on, well, digital sovereignty. And it leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. If you were really, truly in charge, with no single company holding all the keys, what would a free internet actually look like to you?